In this video, we're going to be going over the impact scenario. So that's going to be found right here in the Input-Output tab under the Popular Input-Output Reports. So we're going to jump right in here, and we're going to go over this today and show you how it works. So this report is designed to help you determine the impact of a certain event on your region's economy. So whether that is bringing a new company in that's adding new jobs to the region, or maybe you have a company that's going to be laying some people off and you want to see what that impact's going to be. We can do either of those here. So you can see right away it gives you the option to add a region. So we're going to be looking at the state of Idaho today. You can also add 6-digit industries to the scenario. And I already have food product, machinery, and manufacturing added. You can add multiple industries if you want. We're just going to do one for right now. So you can see here, you can select the unit. You can do an impact on jobs, earnings, or sales. So for instance, if you have a company that tells you if they expand, it's going to bring an extra $1 million in sales, you can do that impact to see what that impact is going to be on the region, or you can do the jobs, or you can do the earnings. For now, we're going to just go ahead and go with the jobs. So like I was saying, if you have a company that's bringing in, we'll say 300 new jobs, you can just add that in here. Or if the company says they're going to be laying off 50 employees, you can just add -50 in here, and that'll show the impact of losing those jobs. For now, we're going to think positive and go with adding 300 jobs to your region. So we're looking at food, product, machinery, and manufacturing. Down here you can see select a model type. So there are 3 types of models. We have type MZ, type 1, and type 2. So type 1 and type 2 are going to be for more shorter term impacts. It's going to be looking at what are the direct impacts of bringing in those extra 300 jobs in your region. It's looking at what's going to happen quickly. Whereas type MZ is more of a long-term look at things. So what is the long-term effect going to be on your economy? We're going to look at type MZ right now. You can get more information on these models right here, and if you just hover over that, it'll pop up and it'll show you. So type 1 is looking at industry to industry transactions, but does not include induced effects. Essentially what that's saying is we're looking at short-term impact. And it is designed for large regions, so either looking at the nation as a whole, or maybe you're looking at a group of states. Essentially, you're looking at a region that is self-sufficient, so not requiring exports to exist. Type 2 uses type 1 model, but it also includes household spending. So you can use this one at a smaller region. So say you're looking at a county or a group of counties, you'd want to use type 2 for that. Type MZ uses the type 2 model, but also includes additional long-term investments and government spending. So that's why we're going to be looking at this one for long-term impact. So we're going to go ahead and run this now for our change of 300 jobs to the food product, machinery, and manufacturing. You can see you can make edits over here, so you can change the job impact, or you can change this to earnings or sales if you want to. You can also change the model type, and the input-output year you can change up to 1 year back. So right now you can go back to 2018. So we're going to see right away it's going to pull up 3 different impacts for us. We're going to see a change in earnings, a change in jobs, and a change in taxes on production and imports, or TPI. So what we're looking at here is we've got multipliers, and you can see, so for instance, the jobs multiplier is 1.93. So essentially what this is saying is for every 100 jobs you add to this industry, it creates 93 other jobs in the region. And same thing with the earnings. For every $100 you add to this industry, it creates 56 other dollars in your economy. So we're going to break this out a little bit more now. We can see that the total impact is almost 33 million in earnings by adding 300 jobs. If we hit this, we can see where are those earnings going. So we can see initial. So initial is going to be in that industry we're looking at. So in this case, it's food product, machinery, manufacturing. We can see $21.1 million in earnings were added to that industry. You can see here the direct. So this is their direct supply chain for the food product, machinery, and manufacturing in your region. We can see that $3 million in earnings were added to the direct supply chain. Indirect is basically further down the supply chain. So secondary suppliers, we added 800,000 in. And induced, these are the other jobs created in the economy because of these initial direct and indirect jobs. So this could be anything from healthcare workers to teachers to fast food workers. And if you hover over these little question marks, you can get more information on this, and it will tell you exactly what this is here. So we'll see a very similar breakout in the jobs here. We can see we have the initial. Again, those are the 300 jobs that we added to the food product machinery manufacturing, the direct jobs, so their direct supply chain, the indirect supply chain, and the induced, so all the other people in the economy that got jobs because of this. Lastly, here we have the TPI, the taxes. We can see in this scenario, $774,000 were added to local taxes, $670,000 were added to state taxes, and $401,000 were added to federal taxes. Now, if we want to get the full breakout of where these jobs are actually going, because in this, we can see that it's going to the supply chain and into the rest of the economy, but we can't actually see where they're going. But we can hit Show Jobs Distribution right down here, and we can see what industries these jobs are actually going into. So we can see manufacturing is adding 316 jobs. That makes sense for what we know, considering we were the ones that added 300 jobs to the manufacturing industry. But we can see there's also jobs being created in construction and retail trade and healthcare and social assistance, accommodation and food services. So now we can actually get more of a breakout of what industries those jobs are going to. We can also look at what occupations are being created because of that change. So we can see there's a lot of management occupations being created. And we can see down here food preparation and serving related occupations, office and administrative. So we can see all of these other jobs that are being created because of those initial 300. And we can see the demographics. So we can see what gender and what age group are being added to the economy because of those 300 jobs. And so we can see a lot of males between 25 to 34 and a lot of males from 35 to 44. So this is based off of the current demographics in the region. So if we wanted to break this out even further and see, okay, where in the supply chain are these jobs being created? We can come down here to the industry jobs detail. And so if we select on this, it's going to give us a full breakdown currently of the 6-digit NAICS codes of where those jobs are being created. So we can see right here, crop production, there's an induced job for crop production. So essentially because of those initial direct and indirect jobs being added, we added one job into crop production. And if we scroll down here, we can find more. And we can see, for instance, commercial and institutional building construction, there was a job added, and residential remodelers, there was a job added. We can also change the granularity of the industries that we're looking at. Currently, we're looking at 6 digits, so the most granular industry. But we can change this. Let's go to 2-digit for now. And we can see here, there's the initial 300 jobs that we added, but there was also 12 jobs added in manufacturing in their supply chain, one job added in their indirect supply chain, so further down in the supply chain, and 4 induced jobs. We can see retail added 27 jobs in induced jobs and 1 job in the direct supply chain. So we can actually see where the jobs are being created in the supply chain here. And we can do this same thing if we want to look at earnings or the sales. We can break those out as well in the same place. So we hit Show Job Distribution, and we can scroll down to the bottom here and we can go to industry earnings detail or industry sales detail and really get that full breakout here. So that's the impact scenario. If you ever have any questions for us, feel free to reach out. We are always happy to answer questions. Thank you.